What the hell is going on with Trick? I can't believe I hugged Jeff and Gary. The smile on his lips could not be suppressed. It looks like it's going to knock them out. So what happened? And everyone else just sat there and grilled and watched. Let's see what's going on, shall we? Jeff finished first in the last challenge. Confiscate all of Gary's equipment and finish the hunt for the antelope alone. 6 days to the end of the challenge. The show put them through a friction fire test. Jeff fell for that challenge last time. It's really not something that a normal person can pull off. Bad memories came back. Keith saw it as an opportunity. No problem with your own technology. I don't know what the prize is for first place. Friction fires are nothing more than hand drills and bow drills. By creating embers and lighting them in tinder. Jeff and Fredo want to complete the challenge with a hand drill. Keith thought a bow drill would be easier. Everyone has their own considerations. Keys isn't about to share tips. After all, only one person can win the prize. She has already started gathering materials for tomorrow's challenge. Be sure to choose wood that is dry and easy to step on. It makes drilling easier. Yes, but it's not easy to make. It took Keith a while to master it. She felt she was fighting on behalf of women. I want to tell you through this wild survival, women are no less powerful than men. Gary was planning to fire the fire with a bow drill. I was so close to challenging myself last time. It's just my body can't take it anymore. He did a lot of preparation this time. It's impossible to fall back on the challenge of building a fire. Gary made a much better bow than last time. Have the confidence to complete the challenge. Trick, on the other hand, has built a fire without friction. I'm a little worried it's going to knock me out. He really wanted to prove he was better than the others. But so far it doesn't seem to be going so well. Even a guy like Dank, who's done it before. Rubbing fires really takes a little patience and luck. Jeff is already preparing the tools for the hand drill. The last time I challenged the bow diamond, it was hard. So the hand drill will be better this time. Although it's more prone to embers than a bow drill. But colder temperatures require a lot of hoarding. It's not as easy as everyone thinks. Jeff was ready to be eliminated. He has eaten so much meat. The body must be able to sustain itself. I hope everything goes well tomorrow. Fredo wanted more hay. He's really new to friction fires. I practiced at home a few times before. It took a lot of time to succeed. It's a lot harder than home right now. I have no confidence at all. In order to be able to change some paracord, he's hoping to make a deal with the Danks. Salt for a paracord is a good thing. Only by completing the challenge can we continue on. If Dank had any salt, the body also recovers faster. At last, the two sides reached an agreement. Trick has only one request. It's not for anyone else to use. This made perfect sense to Frodo. Dank and his team didn't think Lando could pull it off. I can't give him enough to threaten me. When he got the paracord, Fredo was visibly more confident. I hope it works. No one could sleep at night. I'm anxious about tomorrow's challenges. All hope to make it to the final day of the challenge. Before you know it, the 40th day has come. Everyone's got everything ready. Now head to your destination to complete the challenge. Dank has a lot of faith in his skills. I'm just too weak to handle the challenge. Soon everyone will gather and head to their destination. It took a while to get to the challenge point. This challenge has to be done inside the circle. The kindling will last until the end. Only 3 were able to continue the challenge. Oh man, 3 at once. The most intense battle must be for 3rd place. People were already anxious. Now it's even more numb. Can't figure out where to eat tonight. We need time to rub and build a fire. So far, Trick and Frodo have no advantage. It just depends on who else will be slower. Jeff was worried he hadn't prepared well enough. Some more materials were collected for use. And immediately rub with a hand drill. With the rope in place, he can focus on the friction. Downward pressure makes it easier to get the embers. Keith is in no hurry to light a fire. Get everything ready first. She's going to get the fire right. First, make a notch on the board and rub it. This is the first time Case has used such a soft material. It feels okay so far. It should rub. Trick's side is a little lost. He took out everything he could use. This time, directly search Ha. Hope to be able to complete the challenge quickly. He's going to get rid of Gary and Jeff. Gary would rather spend more time gathering materials. I don't want to start a fire in a hurry. Fredo doesn't want to be influenced by anyone else. He went to a remote corner to work. I usually put out fires myself. It's going to be a little hard for him to start a fire now. Frando was just watching the other players. He felt sure he could handle it this time. Most players make short bows. Keith chose the longbow with less effort. Now I have all the tools I need. Try a bow drill friction fire. Dank looks next door, and Keith is on the move. He also had to speed up to finish the bow drill. Trick's bow drill over here, that's pretty bad. There is no way but to try the hand drill method. However, the effect is not very good. If he doesn't find the right way, I think I'll be home for dinner tonight. It's going to be a lot easier here in Frodo. He thought he had a good chance of getting the ashes out. I kept thinking of the encouragement of my family. It's going to be harder when you drill. When rubbed, the smoke will come into contact with sawdust and turn to ash. Jeff can already smell the burn. Gary was quite anxious about it. Plus, I can hear Jeff whispering all the time. It really affected his mood to build a fire. The more you hurry, the harder it is to ignite. Jeff and Gary are trying too hard to get ahead of themselves. Rubbing too hard caused the board to break. Jeff was out of breath, had to stop for a break. No one has yet completed the challenge. He still has time to adjust. It's hard to start a fire when the drill gets burnt and hard. It's gonna have to be shaved off. Keith, this is all you've got. Keep putting pressure on the drill. It was harder than I thought, even though she's done it a million times. But it still takes a lot of time and effort. Now the body is exhausted. If I just gave her a little more muscle, I'd have gotten the ashes out a long time ago. It's just smoke on Dank's end. I managed to get a piece of ash out. It went out before it even got on the tinder. Can only adjust the mood and keep trying. I made a lot of progress since my last challenge. He felt sure that the challenge could be completed. Trick's got skin on his hand. He needs to stop and rest. We can get that ring of fire out first. To see the other players going well, I was feeling more and more anxious. We have to find a way to get a new bow. I'm going to make the bow shorter, so there's more room for the rope. Jeff is the only one who still uses the hand drill. He has produced ashes several times, but they couldn't light the tinder. That hand is torn and aching like hell. I can't afford to switch to a bow drill again. Let's hope it's all in time. Gary's already rubbing the second plate. It looks very good on the surface, but as soon as the ashes came out, the wind blew them away. No matter how anxious we are, we must continue to challenge. Jeff's hand can't take it anymore. We have to get a bow drill to rub the fire. Now I start making bows. This is way behind everyone. It's going really well with Fredo. You can already see the ashes. It's just a little short of igniting. Keith was exhausted. Had to stop and think. How do you light it up? She needs to do it before her body breaks down. A lot of sawdust has accumulated on the board. Keith is rubbing hard enough. Depends on the success of this pile of ashes. It went a lot better than I thought. And it blew into it, and it lit up. Right now, Keith is so excited that he can barely breathe. It's not time to be happy. She had to get the fire on the rope to complete the challenge. The other players heard Keith's voice. The mood was becoming more anxious. Keith got his mood right. Wrap some bark around and make a torch. Light it up and come to the rope. I saw the scroll come down smoothly. Keith was finally able to relax. It will move to its destination in 3 days. Now I am so excited that I don't know what to say. It's not easy. She thinks there's a good chance there will be a female champion this time. There are only 2 spots left. Everyone was getting more anxious. Gary can't even ignite the ashes. He doesn't know what went wrong. Right now, that's fretful. Instead, Lando calmed down. He needs to adjust his tools. See how you can work better. Trick doesn't have a clue. Feels like it's time to go home today. Dank knew Keith would make it, but the pressure got worse when she finished. He needs to focus on continuing to rub. Put the ashes in the tinder. This blow is going to go a lot smoother. You can already see smoke coming out. It's a lot easier when you light it up. Dank picked up speed and lit the rope. With the drop of the scroll, there's only 1 slot left. Who do you think will make it to the final challenge? Trick, there's no hope at all. Fredo's still there. I don't feel like I can handle the challenge. When everyone thought it was going to be Jeff or Gary, we got Ash on the Frodo side. Put it in the tinder and light it up. Boy, I didn't think he could light it up. Definitely the biggest dark horse in this challenge. Although he has been successfully lit, but only if it's inside the ring of fire. Now he's bringing it in a nutshell. When Jeff and Gary were still competing against each other, suddenly, Fredo lit the fire. Jeff wondered if he was dreaming. It might as well have been Gary. Now, Fredo doesn't have the scroll. This will be their last chance. Jeff, the ashes are already smoking. Just need to give him a little more time. Fredo had secretly taken the scroll. Boy, I guess no one was expecting that. I thought Jeff was going to make it to the finals. Fredo was surprised too. I didn't expect to make it to the finals, especially over Jeff and Gary. He still can't believe it. Jeff always thought he could win the money. I just didn't expect to fall on this challenge again. Trick saw that Jeff and Gary didn't win. The whole person was so happy. Gary decided it was time to go home. He needs a good workout for the friction fire. I hope the next challenge will come. Everyone's good wishes made Fredo very excited, even if you don't get a bonus this time. And he's proud to tell his kids. I finished in the top 3 in wilderness survival. Everyone thinks that Fredo has improved a lot. I hope he can continue to work hard in the next challenge. Trick didn't take Jeff and Gary down, but it's nice to go home together. The losers quit the challenge with some regret, but also try your best to complete the challenge. After saying goodbye to everyone, it's time to go home and rest. Everyone did well in this challenge. We got a lot of food by hunting, to prove that he has made it this far on strength. Like Jeff brings all kinds of show effects. No wonder the director likes to invite him over so much. Before you know it, Jeff has had several challenges in a decade. After this, he plans to look for a new job. Probably won't come back for more. At the end, he would give his trademark shout. Now the challenge is down to 3. They had to hurry to arrange the camp. We're going to spend the next few days together. I wonder who you think will win the final prize. Now they can get some meat and eat it. Think about what happens next. We're moving to another location in 3 days. There is not much time left for them to rest and adjust. What everyone didn't expect was that you encounter scorpions on your night's rest. Keith was very upset when it stung him on his finger. We had to call the doctor for safety. I hope the poison doesn't interfere with the next challenge. The main thing people don't know is what's scorpion. All I can do is give Keith antibiotics. If you don't feel well tomorrow, he had to be taken to the hospital for treatment. Only a few days left. What does Keith say to stick to the end? The doctor saw no further deterioration and left here. The challenge continued until day 41. Keith woke up to find the swelling had subsided. I can continue to complete the challenge. She tried using a bow and arrow to see. The effect of shooting is not very good. The touch of that finger hurts like hell. This particularly affects the final challenge. We'll just have to see if we recover in a few days. Before you know it, 43rd day has come. They're moving to a new destination. It's a little far from that. Plus, they need to carry everything with them. It's a lot harder than before. Not only across the grasslands, but over the mountains. This trip is going to be exhausting. Although everyone wants to pack light. But there's just so much stuff. You don't know if you're going to use it later. After a discussion, everyone takes everything with them. The target is the mountain ahead. I'm getting a little soft just looking at it. The most important thing is to make sure the spark is okay during the walk. Once on this side of the ridge, the whole person becomes uncomfortable breathing. I'm afraid of falling off the steep rock. This is not an easy migration. Dank went through that in the last challenge. Unfortunately, the opponent was too strong. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm in better shape than I was before. He is confident that he can win the challenge. All kinds of animal droppings can be seen on the road. The fence of the camp has to be strong. Walk until the sun is about to go down. They finally reach their destination. Now we have to hurry up and finish the camp. Things are looking up. I'm worried it's going to rain in the middle of the night. Everyone enjoyed the warmth of the fire at night. I didn't expect lightning. We just hope it doesn't come this way. But the reality is cruel. The rain just came to the camp. The fire was nearly blown out by the wind. This is definitely the worst storm we've ever had. I barely made it to dawn. Everyone was devastated. Tomorrow is the final challenge. Everyone's hoping for a better break. But now it has to move to a new destination. It's exhausting to walk down here these days. The show crew is busy here too. They're going to have the players build a boom noose hook. Take the satchel off the cliff. They've been made before to catch crocodiles. The effect is very good. The winner will be ahead of everyone else. Get to your destination faster for challenges. Dank was so close to winning last time. This challenge has to be won. It's not that hard to make. Just find the right pole to use. Everyone rushed to look for it. In the process of fighting, they will break what they like. I don't know if it was intentional. Keith finally got his hands on a less than perfect branch. The main thing is to make sure the length is enough first. Dank's gonna have to move a lot faster. He knows what he has to do, you know? Keith has a lot of wilderness survival experience. But it was never made. Figured if it was long enough to fit the noose, that should get the bag off. But it turns out it's not that simple. It's falling apart before I can get it. Frodo says it's just a longer trap. Get it right over there and try it. It looks like it's really hard work. Dank hasn't built it yet. It would be more advantageous for him to use the paracord himself. Now we just need to tie a little knot. It holds when it pulls on itself. He felt that this challenge had improved a lot. Can calm down to solve the problem. Frodo's too tired to lift. Dank took his time and slowly put the noose on top. Soon the lasso had caught the satchel. Now, how do we get it off? Keith doesn't think this is the way to go. I'm going to put this noose to the test. I hope the reinforcement can better hold the satchel. After many attempts, Dank finally got the satchel off. The advantage of challenging yourself this time is very big. I just want to lay back and rest for a while. Frodo and Keith are still fighting for the satchel. Dank can rest at the first camp. Try to get there early tomorrow to complete the challenge. Cass is not as strong as Lando. I almost made it a couple of times, but I just couldn't get through it. The third camp all but declared the challenge a failure. So they fought as hard as they could to get closer. Keith looks at the noose and gets a satchel. Now the atmosphere is afraid to breathe. It took a lot of work to get the satchel off. They're covered in cuts from twigs. This challenge is not an easy one. Frodo still has to get his satchel down and check out the mission. His shoulders were so tired. If you can't complete the challenge, so they're going to be gone tonight. I blame myself for choosing the heavy ones in the first place. Switch to a lighter wooden pole this time. It's a lot easier to use. Take off that satchel in a minute. If I had known this would happen, I wouldn't have chosen the heavy ones. The final challenge will be to fire a rocket and ignite a pyre on the water. That sounds like a much easier challenge than before. If Frando wants to catch up with Dank, we need to stay on high speed first thing in the morning. Take the time to get to camp and get some rest. Dank knows tomorrow's going to be a tough day. The last challenge was a wasted few minutes. The opponent catches up and overtakes. I won't make that mistake again. Keith felt his body was about to give up. Exercise at high intensity all day long. It's another challenge tomorrow morning. I hope you get a better night's rest. The same is true for Frodo's health. I thought I'd have a good night's rest. Hearing the thunder, I feared it would rain heavily tonight. Everyone is ready for tomorrow's challenge. But in the evening, it suddenly began to rain heavily. In order to protect the fire, no one slept well. Use hides to keep things as dry as possible. If the fire goes out, it's all over. It's not easy coming to the last day. I didn't realize it was still raining. Frodo felt the mud was terrible here. I wonder if the rocket challenge can continue. Dank would rather get in the rain than get anything wet. He wants to make sure he stays dry before the challenge. Can't be ruined by this rain. After waiting so long, the rain finally stopped. A little packing and we're ready to go. Dank didn't let up on the lead. Keep running the whole way through. And don't forget to collect the branches from the road. He doesn't want to be runner-up again. That's the destination ahead. Now all we have to do is light the fire. No matter how fast Frando runs. I can't see the back of Keith. When Keith arrived at his destination, Dank had already started the fire. It's really hard to work in the mud. The wood around is soaked. I would have said more if I knew this was going to happen. Keith was fine with it. Much easier than the Amazon challenge. When Frodo first arrived to try, Dank's already starting to smoke. And Keys is already trying to fire a gun. It's really one shot less. It's a lot of pressure on everybody. It took Frodo a lot of work to get the fire going. Because of the weather, you want to keep the fire burning. You have to watch it all the time. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to light it up again. Dank also began to try archery. That's a long way off. Shots are also being fired from the Frodo side. We're still a long way from that. Adjust the direction of force from shot to shot. Mainly it's raining a little bit now. They had a hard time making sure the arrows lit. Just when everyone thought it would last forever. Dank's arrow that's getting closer and closer to the pyre. The last arrow just lit up. Congratulations to Dank on his victory. He really is more powerful than the others. My hands are shaking with excitement. I was so close to winning the last challenge. This time, I succeeded in winning the prize money. Keith didn't win though, but she's pretty good on her own. It turns out survival in the wild isn't easy. Most people don't make it this far. I don't know if you guessed correctly who will win the prize. I can't wait for someone else to join us next time. Let's wait and see.